إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل به لغير الله فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم
তিনি তোমাদের উপর হারাম করেছেন মৃত জীব, রক্ত, শূকর মাংস এবং সেসব জীবজন্তু যা আল্লাহ ব্যতীত অপর কারো নামে উৎসর্গ করা হয়। অবশ্য যে লোক অনন্যপায় হয়ে পড়ে এবং নাফরমানি ও সীমালঙ্ঘনকারী না হয় তার জন্য কোনো পাপ নেই। নিঃসন্দেহে আল্লাহ মহান ক্ষমাশীল, অত্যন্ত দয়ালু।
إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير. You know, you need to put these ayat in context. Right now we're living in, for us for example, we're here in Irving, there's like 6 or 7 halal meat shops nearby. Halal food is available. It's not like the only food available is pork. It's not like that. It's not like there's a shortage of farms. We're in Texas after all. Right? These guys are in Medina. They're in the middle of a desert. Is there a huge abundance of animals or a shortage? There's a shortage. So the way to eat an animal permissibly is you slaughter it. But how many animals in the heat, they die? And you don't have a huge supply of cows. There's a dead animal right there, but now Allah says you can't eat it. For you and I, well, that's easy. Okay, well, we won't eat it, throw it away. For them, it's not that easy. They don't have a fridge. They don't have storage. They don't have mass supplies. They were counting on this for this month's food. And now Allah says this one's haram. إِنَّمَا حَرَمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ وَالدَّمَ, and blood. Blood is half the weight of the animal. That was their stew. That's gone too. In other words, by Allah saying, eat the halal, He's actually saying, consume less. You have a lot more available to you, but you need to be very selective in what you can consume. It's hurting the economy. Literally, it's hurting their economy. You know? And so, إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ وَالدَّمَ وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ. And there's not a huge diversity of animals, so if they have khinzir, they're going to eat it. No, the flesh of khinzir is gone too. Man, Allah is like putting restriction, and it really hurts the bottom line. Literally, it hurts the bottom line. وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ وَمَا أُهِلَّ بِهِ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ. And anything that has been slaughtered or sacrificed in the name of other than Allah, you can no longer eat it. So now imagine the Muslims, it doesn't mean their entire family has become Muslim. They're living with their Christians and Christian and Jewish, old friends, mushrik friends even, or family, uncles or whatever, and they have one pot they eat from. They're eating from one pot. But now if the mushrik slaughtered it in the name of, Lat, Manat or Uzza, and he slaughtered the food, and they used to eat together, now he can't even eat that. Oh man, this is not easy. وَمَا أُهِلَّ بِهِ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ. However, whoever was forced, غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ, whoever was compelled not out of rebellion, nor out of animosity. There's two things here, bagh and ad. Al-baghi wal-adawa. Baghi means, sometimes you have, especially teenagers do this, right? Hey, don't touch that. Oh yeah? What you going to do now? I'm going to touch it 3 times then. I told you don't go there. Oh, seriously? Don't go there? Watch me. You tell someone not to do something, and out of rebellion, just because they feel like this is a means of them expressing their power, I'm going to do it just because it's wrong. I'm going to do it just because it's not allowed. Why do you think teenagers love speeding on the highway? Not because it's fun, but because it's illegal. That's what the allure is. Right? That's what the allure is. Baghin is, oh, I can't eat that? Yeah, I'm gonna. See what happens. What's the big deal? This is baghin. Aad is you hate the law. You can't stand. I can't eat anything. I can't take it anymore. I'm not eating it. I'm just one time, doesn't matter. This is aad. Now let's understand what idturra is, the one who's forced. In other words, you're about to die. You're in the desert, you got lost in the journey. There's a swine right there in front of you. There's a boar. You're about to die of thirst. There's no water, there's no food around you. At that point, it's not haram anymore. That's, Allah says, fine, you're dying? Go ahead, it's halal. فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. Then there's no sin on him. Then the Muslim will eat pork, he's going to feel good about himself? No. In order so he'll feel dirty inside, any bite he takes. I mean, if you find you're in the middle of your food, somebody tells you, by the way, that has pork in it. What would you do? Other than throw up? And it's not like, well, I'm in the middle of a desert and I already slaughtered the boar, might as well, have the whole thing. Why waste? Just take enough to survive and move on. Don't touch it. But don't feel guilty after that either. فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. There's absolutely no sin whatsoever upon him. لو قال فَلَا إِثْمٌ عَلَيْهِ مع التنوين إثم عليه فهناك مقدار قليل من الإثم باقي. If he said فَلَا إِثْمٌ عَلَيْهِ, then it means, okay, overall there's no sin, but there's a little bit sin. He says فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ Fatha, Mansoob. You know what this La Nafi allegiance is called? There's absolutely no sin on him whatsoever. He shouldn't worry about it at all. None whatsoever. If it's a matter of life and death. Now you and I, if we say, well, I work in this neighborhood and the closest halal restaurant is like 3 miles away. Gas is expensive, therefore I'm forced. No, you're not. Don't kid yourself. If you're able to make that case before Allah, well, all the best to you. But don't play games with that, with the law. This surah is about people who played games with Allah's law. And then at the end of all of it, and describing how Allah has cursed them, then He started talking to us. So we don't become that. We don't become that, So, وَمَا أُهِلَّ بِهِ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. No doubt about it, certainly Allah is exceedingly forgiving, extremely forgiving. He's always merciful. And what this implies also is there are gems in this. By Allah making certain things haram on us and us staying away from them, staying away from the haram in and of itself is a source of Allah's forgiveness. In and of itself is a source of getting mercy from Allah. Eating the halal is also earning Allah's forgiveness. Eating the halal is also a way of getting Allah's mercy. Every time you sit on the table and you eat something halal from your halal income, that in and of itself is Allah showing His forgiveness and mercy to you. What an amazing master we have. Inna Allah ghafurur rahim. You haven't even made istighfar. You just ate halal. You just did that and Allah is giving you maghfirah. Inna Allah ghafurur rahim. No doubt about it. In other words, at the end of it, and we'll end with this ayah, there's a scale offered. And the scale is, look, on the one hand, you have less to eat now. There are more restrictions now. So there's less at your disposal. So how are you compensated? Well, this is what you get in return. On the other side, this is all the debit. You can't take blood, you can't take the animal that died, you can't eat, the animal slaughtered in other than the name of Allah. Fine. All of those accessories are now taken away from you. Except in the case of life and death. Fine. What do I get in return? All this stuff is taken away from me. What do I get? You get forgiveness and mercy. What can you ask for? Who could say that? And shouldn't a believer be more grateful now? Thank you, Allah, for giving us the instruction of halal, because we need forgiveness. We're up to enough, no good. We could use any excuse for forgiveness we can get. So just by us consuming the permissible, we are earning the forgiveness of Allah. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us a people that consume from what is good and pure and what is halal and tayyib. May Allah Azza wa Jal remove all elements of haram from our lives, whether it be from our income or what goes into our mouths. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us from being those who hear but don't hear, see but don't see, and are unable to say the right thing. May Allah not make us from the sum and bukum and umi. May Allah Azza wa Jal commit all of us to guidance. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ni wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-Hakim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.